Hi, everybody. It's me, Mark
Howdy.
Fisher, along with John Poe on Poe on the Go. How you doing?
Doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. This is a live stream. It's being streamed on my channel, Our Scientology Stories Peeling the Onion. And also, I'm streaming it on my other channel, Las Vegas Travel and More. And then we're also streaming on your channel too, right? Poe on the
Yes,
Go?
sir. On Poe on the go. So,
That's right. So anyway,
yeah,
so we're the chat is all combined. So if you see in the chat, it's from all the channels. So don't
excellent,
worry about
excellent.
that.
Yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks, so we got a lot to go over. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I just wanted to mention that, yeah, if anybody wants to, watch, you can watch on any of the three channels. If you have multiple devices, put it
sure.
on both two devices, and we'll get the views on both sides.
And
Anyway,
mine's
this
also
is,
on my Twitter channel as well.
oh, great, fabulous.
So
Anyway, this is just an open forum. He and I are going to talk about some things, and the title was Scientology, Travel, Cars, and Life, and that's basically what it's about. We're going to include your comments in the chat. We'll put them up, and also we'll answer questions. If you've got any questions, just write the word question, put it in the chat. It's easy for us to spot. We'll put it in there, and we will go from there. And we've got a few people here in the house right now. I wanted to show Clearwater Chad is here. How you doing, Clearwater Chad? We're happy to see you. And we've got Danielle Chamberlain. Hi, guys. Yeah, hi, Danielle. Hope you're having a great evening over there in jolly old England.
looks like
And
we have a lot of the
yeah,
usual suspects on.
yeah, Lean on Me is here. Hi,
Yeah.
Mark. Yeah, thank you so much for watching today, and we appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, so we'll go ahead and get started. How you doing, John? And then I've got some stuff I wanted to talk about too.
It's been busy couple of weeks for me. Chad and I did a live stream a couple of weeks ago talking about we were going to be back, and then of course had some medical things come up and had to restart some treatments. Not as bad as it was, but back in some of the treatments. Found out a very dear friend of mine has stage 4 cancer. Uh, Found out by accident, went to the hospital. And when they were doing some tests on him, they found out he had stage 4 cancer. So it's been a lot weighing on us. On top of, I've been getting into a lot of the doing blacksmithing work. So I've been doing a lot of work with that, and just hey, Laura, how's it going? Um, a lot of blacksmithing work dealing with those things, and getting a lot of pre-recorded content that I'm getting ready to put out on my channel. Yeah, go ahead.
Blacksmithing work, is that like shoeing horses, or what is that
I
exactly?
You got to remember, with dealing with the venomous snakes, I've had antivenom treatments 3 different times now. So they make antivenom through the plasma of horses. They actually give them small doses of snake venom. The horses naturally build up a tolerance to the venom. They take certain amounts of their blood, they separate the blood, and they pull out the proteins that have the antivenom in it, and that's what they make the antivenom from. For a long time, I couldn't be around horses. I could, if I actually got like horse sweat on me or anything like that, I could actually go into anaphylactic shock. So
Wow.
I don't deal with anything to do with horses. I'm well past that now, but there's that fear in me of being anywhere near horses, so I don't even mess with anything like that. No, I've been working with knives, hatchets. I'm
Oh,
getting
okay.
doing more with the now I'm starting to work into things like the wrought iron work, things like that. But right now I'm focusing a lot on doing handmade knives, things like that. I'm starting to learn how to do Damascus, those kinds of things. So,
Yeah. My lack of knowledge just goes back to the old West movies, with
okay,
I go to
yeah.
the. And get the horseshoe.
Or you go back even further, make the knight's armor and things like that.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
true.
it basically it's the same ideology, same principle that it was back then. Is you're going to take the metal till it gets to a cherry red where it's no longer magnetic, and then you're going to start beating it, forming it with hammers and different kinds of instruments, and getting it into the shape that you want. Damascus is you're literally taking different layers of metal. Like they talk about the Japanese swords that are folded 1,000 times into themselves to make the sword. That's basically the ideology behind Damascus, except they take it a little bit different route. And nowadays, with them, you didn't want to see the striations or the different layers of metal. Nowadays, you'll see these knives that look almost tiger striped, or they have these really intricate patterns in them, and that's coming from doing the Damascus steel work. So
Got it. Got
it's
it.
hard and it's fun, but it's it's backbreaking stuff if you're not careful with it.
I'll bet. I'll bet. Well,
So,
I've been dealing with my car all week, and I know you can relate to cars.
oh yeah.
I decided I'm going to keep my car another year.
Mm.
I've got 260,000 miles on it, right? So
You
I
should
thought,
get
well,
another 200 out of it.
I do about 38,000 miles a year. So I thought, I'll
Okay.
try and get 300, right? Cars looks great and all
Mhm.
that, but I had a leak. My coolant was leaking. I had a drip,
Oh,
you know what I mean? A drip,
yeah.
drip, drip in my where I park. And so, so I took it in to get an oil change and see if they could figure out where the leak was coming from. And when they did that, they go, well, we can't do the oil change. I went to Pep Boys, right? And
Hmm.
they said, well, because on the you have a oil leak on the top. There's a gasket leaking where the spark plugs are on the top of the engine. It's a Ford engine, and there's a gasket there that
Right.
needed to be replaced. Right?
So was it a
I said,
head
okay.
gasket, manifold gasket? Did they
I
say?
think so. I think it was like a
Or valve
manifold or
cover?
whatever. It's the one that basically he said, it's right up there on top where the
Yeah.
spark plugs are, and they had to replace it. Okay, fine.
Well, it's
So they
probably.
wanted an arm and leg,
Oh
huh?
yeah. It's
They
probably
want,
a valve cover gasket.
well, it was like the gasket that goes around the whole like square thing on the top. I don't
Oh,
know.
on the intake there, then you're probably talking about the intake gasket, manifold gasket. Yeah, that's still not too bad. Yeah, love it. The head gasket on there. It's with these newer cars, they're a bit more tedious because there's so much crap that sits on top of it. Hey, Nerman. So the it's just a matter of getting all that junk off there, and then they lay about 2 tons of plastic on top of everything in those motors nowadays. But yeah, it's still doable. What you need a mom and pop garage that can handle that, and they'll give you a much better price than trying to go with.
Well, here, let me tell you what happened. Okay, so Pep Boys wanted $1,000 to do the oil change that gasket, and then they said that where the coolant was leaking was out the thermostat housing, right? And I
Mm,
went, oh, wait a second, I'm not paying $1,000 for this. I had the thermostat replaced by a friend. I have a friend who's a
yeah,
mechanic, right? Who basically can take any car completely apart and put it back together again. He's that good, right? But he
excellent.
lives out in the middle of nowhere in the desert in a place called Crystal, Nevada. It's about a 90-minute drive, literally out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
He's got 30 acres out there. He works on cars. He started a towing business because the highway is nearby, and you
Yeah.
can imagine in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, they got to have cars got to get towed, right? So anyway, he's a really good guy, really good friend. So he replaced that last August. So I thought, nah, I'm going to take it back to him and have him do that. And then also, they checked my brake pads and they were down to 2 millimeters. I went, okay, well, I'm going to have to get those changed. So I decided to go buy my own brake pads. I paid them to fix the head gasket and do the oil change. Then I decided to buy the brake pads and also the thermostat, take it out to him and have him do it. So he did the brake pads, but as soon as he took off my front tires, one of the ones on the front, the driver's side, was about to split on the inside. You just couldn't see that. And
Yeah.
then the other one was bubbling, right? The two in the back were just fine, right? So anyway, so I ended up having to get 2 new tires.
Yeah.
He replaced the brake pads. And then it turned out that the thermostat wasn't it at all. It was the outflow or whatever thing was. I had to go back 90 miles to get the right part and then come back 90 miles to get that fixed.
Oh yeah.
So finally, it's all fixed, and I'm just hoping the drip. I hear your dog.
Yeah. Let me
Um,
grab him real quick so you'll shut
okay.
up. Come on, knucklehead.
Sorry about that. He's just going to check on his dog. Misha's here too, but she's laying down outside on my patio. So
Well, that's
hopefully
the
she won't
joys of
mind it.
live. So
There's the doggy.
yeah.
Is that
So
Roscoe?
he's getting about 2.5 years old now. He's finally starting to calm down, but he's still got that Chihuahua Beagle mentality going on. So
Good.
yeah, he's a good boy.
Puppy. Hey, we've got Mark Headley in the house, blowing for good. Hey guys. Hey Mark, how you doing?
Hey, Mark.
Thanks for joining us on the
Oh, get
show.
on there. But
And
yeah,
we got
we've got a
puppies.
squirrel and a stray cat that have been tormenting Roscoe. So he's just going nuts half the time trying to get at him. So
He's one
he's a good
handsome
boy.
beau. Yeah.
It's hilarious. Somebody asked me if he ever gets up because I keep posting all these pictures of him laying under the blankets, and they don't realize I'll let him outside and he will run the yard for 2 or 3 hours and refuse to come in. And when he comes in, immediately up and under the blankets and just passes out. So he's something
That's
else,
good.
but he's man, that dog. We definitely
Anyway,
need.
so I finally finished the leak. That was the thing that was
Yeah.
bugging me the most. And I got all the other work done. So now my car's good for the next year. So I'm happy about that. And I had my friend do the work, and so it cost me considerably less.
We had a friend of mine, his truck. He had bought a truck from one of those buy here pay here kind of places, and he brought it in and he brought it over, and I was taking a look at it, and he said, hey, can you take a look at the suspension, everything, make sure it all looks good. Got up underneath there. They had literally gone in and used spray paint to make it look like it was fresher and newer and everything, but literally the frame was rotted out in a couple of different places. Got to get that welded up, and it's just, my goodness, the amount of work. He paid a really good amount of money for it. The body looks great and everything, but he started getting some coats on it as soon as he drove it off the lot. And we went in there and looked. They literally went in and spray painted the calipers, the rotors, all that stuff. And he really got taken with that one. So, but nothing he can do about it. Michigan literally the laws of Michigan are really bad when it comes to used cars and the limit laws and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Hey, good evening, Sharon. So
Yeah, we've got all our friends in here. It's great.
another
Anyway,
Michigan.
we did some videos this week. We did one on Scientology Celebrity Center just a couple of days. We put it out yesterday, I think. And that's basically the beginning of the Celebrity Center for Scientology. And Janice's mother, Yvonne Gillum Jens, she was the one who started it back in 1969. And Janice, of course, has tons of photographs, right? But we actually interviewed a gentleman by the name of Robbie Levin, and this is Jeff and Robbie Levin, and they were in a rock band in the mid '60s called People, and they were like a one-hit wonder. And anyway, they all got in Scientology, the entire band, and then they were the first Sea Org. They joined the Sea Organization, and as the rock band, they kept touring the country, but they were in the Sea Organization to help Yvonne with Celebrity Center, and Hubbard had approved this apparently. So anyway, right now, Robbie eventually left Scientology in 1980, and his brother Jeff stayed in until just a few years ago. So they were disconnected for years. Anyway, they did a documentary called Brothers Broken: The Power of Music, The Curse of Scientology, and that's on the film circuit tour right now around the country. And anyway, so Jeff asked me if I'd put this up. It's going to be in San Francisco on Monday, December 11th. So if anybody's in the San Francisco or Bay Area and they want to see it, just look up Broken Brothers. I don't know what theater it's in, but you can catch it there, and eventually you'll be able to see it everywhere. But they tell their whole story about, they opened for the Who. They used to tour with the Who, and the Rolling Stones, and they do Paul McCartney and all that, and pretty wild story. So, but the reason we had Robbie on was because we wanted to tell the history of Celebrity Center, and I'd never met him before, but he had really good stories, and Janice did as well. So anyway, if anybody hasn't seen that video yet, this is the first part. We're going to be doing, there's so much more we can do about it in terms of what was going on then, and we've got lots of photographs. So the interesting thing, though, about Robbie Levin, I didn't know this until at the end, is that he's the guy who started spinning. Do you know what spinning is in the gym? Like a spin class in the
with the bicycles and all.
With the bicycles and stuff like that. Apparently, he's the one. He and some other people, they created the whole spinning movement, and he made a lot of money doing that, which is pretty amazing. I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it, but
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty amazing, you know.
I just emailed you a link. A good friend of mine, he's a fellow YouTuber. He and his wife live in Bangkok, Thailand, and they did a small documentary about something that's called a ghost tower in Bangkok.
Uh-huh.
He
Oh
just
yeah, I saw that on YouTube. Yeah,
Oh, did you?
I
Okay.
haven't watched the video. I haven't watched it yet, but I know what you're talking about.
They just got he just got notified a few days ago he's going to be in the Hollywood North International Film Festival and has been nominated for Best Director for it. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
they're really good people. Been living in Thai. He's been living in Thailand, I think, for almost 20 years now. So really good people. They do some great stuff. So
I know that tower. They haven't torn it down. I've seen it on several YouTube videos. There's a guy named Bangkok Pat who lives there, and
Mhm.
he does videos all over Bangkok, you know, in terms of different neighborhoods and things like that. And I
Oh yeah.
watch him from time to time, and
Do
he's
you
done
watch Retired Working for You?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've watched him before too.
And then
He's a
there's
good guy.
what is
There's
another one?
also there's Chocolate
Right.
Man in Thailand. Have you seen Chocolate Man in Thailand?
Yep, I've seen his stuff. I got to meet him through Dana Bluen. Um, and then there's let's see, Ride for Kicks out of Pattaya, if you
Yeah.
haven't seen his channel.
And then
Good
there's
guy.
No Time to Be Sad, Chuck and
Yep.
Paige, right? I
Oh,
watched them too. You know, the funny thing is, Chocolate Man in Thailand. You know, he's a retired Air Force, and he's African American. And
yeah.
anyway, he's decided now he came back to the United States about 3 weeks ago, and now he's Chocolate Man in a van, and he's doing van living across the country. And so you
Oh
could see
goodness.
his videos. He went out and bought like an Econoline used van, and then he had to go through all the trouble of you know, checking the motor and checking this and
Mhm.
having problems, and then he
Oh yeah.
bought a cot and a battery. I mean, he's doing it like bare bones, but with the essentials for him. And you know, I just saw a posting from him today that he's actually in Yosemite right now. But
Oh,
if you watch his videos, he's still in San Diego.
oh, okay. Yeah. That's how a lot of that works. I wonder why you came back from Thailand.
He wanted something different. He's going to go back there. He
Yeah.
still lives there and all that, but he decided he wanted to, you know, follow his journey. I'm sure it helps his channel because, you know,
Oh
it
yeah.
gives something interesting to do. But yes, Chocolate Man in a Van, and he was Chocolate Man in Thailand as well. That's a great
Yeah.
title,
Oh,
and fun
he
content.
puts out some good stuff. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of great channels, and then there's Gotta Love Thailand. Dave is someone I've known for a few years now. A really good guy, also. Um, but yeah, I mean, travel. A lot of people. The pandemonium, of course, knocked things down like crazy.
You mean the
Before,
COVID? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
before that, I was in Japan quite a bit, and that's how I started, when that first started happening, the lockdowns and all that, and then stopping travel, watching other people's YouTube channels, seeing what's going on with all the different folks out there. And then that's what, started getting me the bug, get my butt back over to Thailand, see how things are going over there. Uh, right now, I'm working on putting together, I've been working on it for a little bit here. We've got some sponsors that come on and dropped off. Want to do a motorcycle ride from the top of Vietnam to the bottom of Vietnam, up through Cambodia, Laos, all the way down through Thailand, through Malaysia, and ending in Singapore right there on the ocean.
Wow.
And it's going to be 6,000 kilometers total. And figure that, film, 1 to 200 kilometers a day, filming what we're doing some live streams and all that. There's going to probably be a good 2 to 3 months to actually put this, go through the whole thing, because I don't want to rush any of it. I want to take my time, enjoy what I'm doing. I've, got a lot of friends over there in Thailand that I really want to see and spend some time with. And then you have some new friends that are in Vietnam and Cambodia that I want to see as well. So
Yeah,
that,
and it's you've been to Thailand, and we've talked about
mhm.
that before.
Oh yeah.
It's a fantastic country. You
Oh,
know, I've been attacked for my trips to Thailand or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not what Scientology is saying about it. Okay, it's basically they're just trying to stir up trouble and dirt and all that, right? But the people over there are absolutely fantastic. The it's so inexpensive to live there if you're an American because the dollar is so strong. I think it's 36 to 38 Thai dollars to the US dollar, which
Well,
means your spending power is huge when you're over there.
right now
And
it's
so
42 Thai baht to one US
okay,
dollar.
well, 40, that's the highest that it's been. I remember when it was 40, and that was pretty
Well,
high at the
it got to
time.
47 earlier this year.
That's amazing. So
yeah.
basically, I have friends too,
Mhm.
former Scientologists, married couples. They've retired and they live over in Thailand. They've been over there for 5 years.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's actually what I was thinking about doing. My mother's still alive. She's 93, and I'm going to be with
right,
her here in Las Vegas, until the end. But
right.
10 years ago, I was seriously considering, I don't have big, huge retirement. My money would go much further over there. And I love the people. I love the
Oh yeah,
town. I love the country. The only downside is I hate the humidity.
yeah, and that took
And
a
you get
lot of
used to that.
yeah. Well, if you ever seen the photo of my friend Dana and I standing together,
Yeah.
we were at I think we were at the Asok BTS station in Bangkok, and we're very similar size. We're both in the 6'2". I'm 250. He's pushing, I think, 250, 260. So we're very similar size, very big guys, very big falang.
Yeah.
And he's like I said, he's been living there almost 20 years. We're out walking. His wife has got a windbreaker on and she's full clothes. We're walking around. I don't think I wore pants the whole time I was there. I was in shorts everywhere I went. And I'm in shorts, flip flops, a light button up shirt with a tank top underneath of it. Dana's pretty much the same way. We're both absolutely soaked with sweat. And I looked at him and I said, "Man, when do you get used to this heat?" He turned and looked at me and he goes, "Big boys like us, never." So,
Yeah. Well,
it's
I always walked around with I'd always take a hand towel from the
yep.
hotel and I'd have it in my pocket because you're
Oh yeah.
constantly wiping, because it's hot and it's not
Oh yeah.
sometimes of the year it's not as bad, but it's pretty it can be really miserable. But again, you do get somewhat used to it,
Oh yeah.
and of course the air conditioned stuff there too. But no, the
Oh,
people are great, the food's fantastic, your money goes a long way. It's a beautiful country. And they love Americans, meaning all Thai
oh,
people. They're just Buddhists. They're amazing, and that
the,
all Southeast Asia, Vietnam is amazing.
oh yeah.
Malaysia is amazing.
You would figure with the history between the U.S. and Vietnam, you wouldn't feel they would be that welcoming to us, but they are all of Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. They are so welcoming, so nice. They treat you very well. Haven't been to Myanmar in a long time, and with all the civil war and everything that's been going on over there, yeah, I've just I pulled it up. Here's what I get, and this is actually a Japanese brand of coffee, and it's called UCC. That's what my addiction is to that coffee. That in Thailand they actually have UCC coffee houses, but you can't get the coffee in the can like that. That's predominantly a Japanese thing, and then now they import it to America. But if Mark, have you been to Japan?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
love Japan.
Then do you know about how the vending machines are there?
Oh yeah.
You literally can't turn a corner without running into a row of vending machines anywhere you go.
Yeah.
So that's where I got stuck on that. Our first time I took the family to Japan, which I believe was in 2015, 2016. We're at Haneda Airport we were at Narita, and we got off the plane, and I just needed two things. I needed a smoke and I needed a coffee. So ran over, got it in the vending machine, and it brought back all those memories. And I've been back dozens of times to Japan since then. So it's just been awesome.
Yeah.
Prosen was asking about healthcare. They have fantastic healthcare
Oh
in Thailand.
yeah. Oh yeah. And
Oh,
it's so inexpensive.
mhm.
All their doctors are trained in the US,
Yep.
and I
Or
haven't had to
Britain.
go to the hospital, but it's amazing. I
I
tell a story. I got sick
Go ahead.
one time. I got food poisoning in my hotel
Mm,
one time. I got really sick, high fever, the whole bit. Oh, the hotel called a doctor and a nurse came to my hotel room. They diagnosed me, they treated me, they brought the medication that I needed with me, and they were all done. And when I was all done, I said, "Well, how much do I owe you?" And it was $35. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it.
Well, and the I in Malaysia, I that's where I contracted malaria. So had an emergency room visit. My doctor was this. I mean, I can't. I think he actually was a one of the physicians for Methuselah. The guy was so old, and he treated me for the malaria. Spent the night in the hospital, and the next morning they I was good to go. They let me out, and the thing was is it cost me less than $50 to spend a night in the hospital with an emergency room visit, and that was in Malaysia. And I know Thailand's even less than that. So
And
it's
dental work is amazing too. I had a
oh
friend that needed braces, and I
mhm.
how much for braces? It was $300, okay,
Yeah,
for 2 years of care, including the braces. And I was making a lot of money at the time, and I was like, yeah, I'll pay for it. What, $300? Are you kidding me? It's
oh yeah,
so expensive in America, and
even
it's
with
just so
insurance,
inexpensive, huh?
even
What's
with
that?
insurance,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
It's just amazing over there. So anyway, that's why a lot of people go over there and they retire,
Oh yeah,
because it's cheap.
there's a lot of people who do the medical vacations or the plastic
Oh
surgery
yeah.
vacations
Hmm.
go to Thailand because you
Hmm.
can get top-notch treatment for almost nothing in those in that country, and they treat you very well.
The lady that used to cut my hair, this is 15, 20 years ago. She used to cut my hair, and she had heard about Thailand. Her brother had a heart condition, and he needed stem cell therapy, which they didn't do in the United States at the time.
Yeah.
So I went over with them to Thailand, and he got his stem cell therapy over there in order to try and save his life. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it's an amazing place. It really is. But
You know, and
anyway,
people don't
that's a little
realize
on
you
that.
can go from being on a tropical island hours later, be in the mountains at the northern part of the country, hundreds of miles from the ocean.
And that,
And
that's the part I've never been to before, and I hear it's really nice up
oh,
there.
you've got to get up to the Udon Thani, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, the
Yeah.
Golden Triangle area up there, the Mekong Delta, or you can go down south, the Hat Yai Songkla area in the Songkla Bay. There is an island there, Hoyo Island in Songkla, which is in the middle. It's in the bay. It's about an 11-kilometer island there, and the thing is that they have the Mekong dolphin is still there. It's one of the only places on the face of the earth. It's a critically endangered species, but they have these little dolphins that are 4 or 5 foot long. They don't have the bottlenose snout. They have the rounded snout on them. But that's one of the only places in the world that you can see them. You can wade out to chest deep water a half mile off the beach, and there's no large predatory sharks there. You don't see those till you get further out into the ocean or more towards like the Philippines or Indonesia. But there in Thailand, for some reason, they don't have the large predatory sharks there. And it's just amazing all the swimming that you can do and the snorkeling, scuba diving, beautiful
I
stuff.
I have I have a friend. When I first went over there, I went to a tailor shop. That's the other thing too. You can get clothes made, like tailor-made clothes, very inexpensive, and they'll have them ready for you the next day or 2 days later at your hotel, right? But anyway, over by the Oriental Hotel, I met a tailor. His shop is Harry Boss, and everybody calls him Harry, right? But he's a Sikh. He's actually Indian,
Okay, yeah.
and he is my friend to this day. I've known him probably 20 years, and whenever I go over there, like I had a him he made me a bridge coat. I talked about this on a video I did last week with
Is
Alex
that
on
in
going to
Bangkok?
London. What's that?
His shop?
Oh yeah, yeah. But anyway, I got a bridge coat, a wool bridge coat made that went all the way down to my legs because I was so cold when I was in Europe. And he made
Oh,
that. He has clients all over Europe. Great guy. His brother's great in the whole business, right? But anyway, he became the president of the like the Chamber of Commerce in Bangkok, right?
right.
And he loves he's Indian, so he loves cricket, the
Oh,
sport of
yeah.
cricket. So he started an indoor cricket league by just getting a warehouse and together
Wow.
playing indoors and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Well, then he decided to invest in land, and he bought land just outside of Bangkok, and now he's developed this huge, huge cricket fields out there on his own dime, and they have a whole cricket league out there, and it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Well,
So
there's a
it's
lot
it's
of
amazing.
there's a lot of Indian expats in Thailand as well. And also just in the tourism side of it, you see a lot of people that are from India. I have
Yeah.
literally a mile from my house. There is a Sikh temple here. So I've got a lot of people that I know that are Sikh as well, and they all that's a big thing in India is going to Thailand for vacation, things like that. So yeah, they're. But as for Harry, is his shop on Sukhumvit Road down near Nana?
No, no. He's actually over by the Oriental Hotel near the river, over by the
Okay,
Shangri-La, on the same road as the Shangri-La Hotel.
okay,
And but he's a great guy. Literally, when I go see him,
yeah,
it could be several years, and hey Mark, how you doing? We're friends
yeah.
on Facebook, and he's just a really great guy. But anyway, so that's what it's like in Thailand as far as the people and all
Oh
that sort of
yeah.
stuff.
You
I'm going
ever
to
make
show.
it over to Chinatown in Bangkok?
Yeah, that's in the old town of
Oh
Chinatown in
yeah.
Bangkok. Yeah.
I have a
Anyway,
video that I've been editing. They have an actual temple there to crocodiles, and they have actual saltwater crocodiles that
oh
the
yeah.
monks take care of there. So I've been working on a video for that, and that's another thing people don't realize going to Thailand for the first time how beautiful their temples are. It's
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
they're ornate, they're so
Yeah.
clean, they're so friendly. So
I'm going to do another video here in the future about my trips to Thailand and show photographs and stuff.
oh yeah,
And I'll love to show them and show the different stuff. I've gone to crocodile zoos,
oh,
farms they call them, where they have elephants and crocodiles and all that stuff. It's
oh,
just a great place. Anyway, another thing I was going to mention that we did is that we're doing videos right now on the Free Winds, which is the Scientology ship, and that they bought in the mid 1980s. And Janice was in charge of getting the ship ready for the maiden voyage. And we've had a married couple, Scott and Carrie Campbell, who used to be on the ship. They were on there for a long time. He was in the engine room, and she was the chief steward for the crew. And then we had another gentleman, Tom Martiniano, and so they told stories about getting the ship ready for the maiden voyage. That is Little Miscavige there, the short one in this to the right. The
oh,
tall
okay.
guy is the captain, Mike Napier, who's the actual captain of the
Is
ship,
that
and
him with the
that's
long blonde hair
Miscavige.
there?
No, that's Rowan That's Rowan Horwich. That's L. Ron Hubbard's granddaughter,
Wow,
who's now in her 40s and stuff. But
goodness.
this was the christening of the ship. But anyway, so we did a video. We've done 3 videos on it so far, and then we're going to do a last one tomorrow, which is we're going to talk to the Campbells of how they got out of Scientology, because it was really a horrific story, and
Oh,
also tell the story about this one gentleman named Don Jason. He had to escape from the Free Winds by taking a piece of wood or metal and sliding down the ropes to
oh
get off
wow.
the ship. And so we're going to tell those stories. So anyway, so we did those videos, and then Tuesday we're going to be doing a video. This is Ursula Caberta, and she's the German government official, okay, over in Hamburg, that basically took on Scientology in the 1990s and 2000s, and basically got it banned. Gave it lots of trouble, and put restrictions on Scientology in Germany, and a lot of former Scientologists who spoke out. They know Ursula. They've dealt with her and all that, and she's an amazing person. So we're going to interview her on Tuesday. So that's
Excellent.
going to be coming up on our channel as well for that part. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is my other channel, Las Vegas Travel and More. It's just a fun video channel to talk about Thailand, talk about different places we've been. I did an interview video live stream with Apostate Alex last Monday about my first trip to London, and we showed
Mhm.
photographs all London and southern England and going to Stonehenge and all that. And we just laughed and told stories.
Oh
He
yeah.
lives over there, of course, but
Oh yeah.
I just gave him my view. There was a heated chat debate about brown sauce versus ketchup.
Yeah. What is I had some of there's the British, I guess it's the brown sauce that they use, and to me it basically tastes a lot like A1 steak sauce, but
Well, I didn't get it because they're like we have ketchup on every table in America, but they
mhm,
have brown sauce, and
yeah.
I thought it was going to be pretty bland. But anyway, so it was a fun video. But I do lots of videos on that. I'm doing videos on Las Vegas today. I did a Las Vegas news video, and then so if anybody's interested, please subscribe to my channels, Las Vegas Travel and More. The address on YouTube is at mfisherlv. I would really appreciate it, and we're streaming on that channel right now. I'm trying to get more views. I've only been 2 months in, and I've got almost 560 subscribers, and I've had over 560 hours of viewing, but I got to get up to 4,000 hours. So
Oh yeah.
anyway, I'd appreciate anybody watching the videos over there and subscribing because that'll help me. And we're going to go over things like Thailand and different trips like that. Japan, I want to do Japan and all that. So anyway, so we've got all that stuff together there.
What's your favorite
So,
part of Japan?
you know what? I flew through. You know, it was a pass through on my way to Thailand, right?
Oh, okay.
But I did go. No, but I did stop. I went to Kyoto.
Mhm.
You flew into Kansai Airport in Osaka, and then went to Kyoto, and then I've also been to Tokyo. I went back. The last time I was in Japan was about 5 years ago. I went on vacation just by myself for 4 or 5 days in Tokyo, and I loved it. It depends on the time of year you go. I've been there in August, and the humidity is worse than Florida. I mean, it is so
Oh yeah.
bad in Japan, like really humid. I was really surprised. And then when I went to Kyoto, I actually went in like January or February, and it was cold.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
like you had to wear winter coats and stuff. So it wasn't as pretty as it is in the spring and in the fall.
And
But I love Tokyo, and I'd love to go. What I want to do, my next trip, is I want to go. I want to go and actually get the rail pass and then go through the countryside and go all over the country. You know what I mean? For like a
oh yeah.
week or two.
If you haven't done it yet,
Thanks, Veronica.
excellent, thank you. If you haven't done it yet, the Shinkansen, Mojo, what's up, brother? The Shinkansen is amazing. That's the bullet train over there.
Yeah.
It can be a bit expensive, but you just watch for they have deals. And yeah, you can jump on a flight from Tokyo to Osaka and pretty much pay $30 for the flight. It'll cost you 100 to 200 bucks for the Shinkansen, and it takes about 4 hours. But I mean, honestly, you're on a bullet train doing 200 miles an hour, and you're flying past Mount Fuji as you're doing it. The scenery that you're going to see and everything is amazing.
Well, and I checked out, Japan Rail, JRL or whatever Japan.
Mhm.
You can get a rail pass at the time. I haven't
Oh, yeah.
done this, but like 4 or 5 years ago, you could get like a rail pass. Hop on, and it was like $400. I mean, it wasn't a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I thought, well, I could do that and go around. I'd love to go. Never been to Hiroshima or,
Yeah.
Kobe or there's lots of places I would love to see because I love Japan. I love Japanese food and I love Japanese culture. Um, and it's so clean. It's such amazing. I had a great time when I was in Tokyo too.
But a lot of people that are making their way over to Tokyo really need to watch a lot of the travel videos from the folks who've been there, because the Japanese people are a very quiet, very subdued people, and they've also been a closed country for a long time, where they kept to themselves. They didn't have a lot of tourists that were coming in for a long time, and now they have this boom with it. And there's still a lot of people who hold on to the old traditions, the old values, and you're not supposed to be using your cell phone on. You're talking on your cell phone on any of the trains, what do they call them? The subway, the train system, any of that. You're not supposed to be on there talking. There's a lot of rules, a lot of do's and don'ts, but just be respectful, and you'll have an amazing time. Let's see here.
I I was going to tell you my first time. flying into Osaka, I took a train. I flew in. It's basically the red eye, and then I took a train from the Osaka airport, Kansai Airport, which is out in the middle of the
Oh
bay.
yeah.
It's pretty amazing. And I took a train. So when I'm at the train station at the airport waiting, the train pulls in, right? And you have to wait, and everybody waits in line. They're very polite in Japan. They wait in line, right? So the train pulls in, and then this cleaning crew goes in. They're all in uniform,
Oh yeah.
and basically the seats on the train turn around
Hmm.
automatically, like because they're going to go the opposite direction, so the
Right.
seats automatically turn around. They go in and clean the train, which is not really dirty, but they go in and clean it, and you get done. So you go on, and then as you're sitting there, as they're pulling out, they're all lined up next to the train, all the cleaners, and they're waving
Oh yeah.
in
Yeah.
unison as the train pulls away. I'd never experienced anything like that. It was such an amazing thing.
They are such amazingly polite people that it's hard for a lot of Westerners to see it. And then if you've been to China, it's a very different kind of
They
culture.
push.
Yeah,
They
they will
push.
literally jump in front of you in line, push you out of the way, and China. You gotta love China. I love China. There's a lot of stuff going on over there right now I don't want any part of, so I've been staying clear of it. But the Japanese people are take the Thai people and how nice they are, how welcoming they are, and turn them into super polite, very quiet, very reserved people with the same kind of attitudes, and that's the Japanese.
Yeah.
So
And you're right about Chinese. And I was thought about that, because you would go to the gate to get on your plane, and they have boarding groups and stuff like that. Oh, no, no, the Chinese, that are waiting for the flight, they don't pay any attention to that. They go right to the front, push to get on. You know what I mean? They could be in like the last boarding group, they're up front and they're pushing. And I thought about it. I thought, well, there's so many people in China. That's probably how they were
yeah.
raised, because just to eat or to get anything, they're probably in line, and they have to push in order to get. That's the only thing I could think of. Japan has a lot of people too, but that society is just taught to be very polite, very respectful of people.
And in China, they had the one child policy for a long time. So you have a lot of people that grew up as an only child that they call them little emperors, is what they call them. And they're used to anything that they want, anything they want to do. They're given it because they're the only child. So they're who their parents are focusing on. And so that mentality carries on. The Chinese people, I love them. They're amazing, resilient people. And once you get to know them, I've felt very welcomed in China. It's
Yeah, I've never
society.
been to China. The only place I've been that's China was
Mhm.
Hong Kong. I've been to Hong
Okay.
Kong a couple of times, but that's Britishized or whatever. China, now
Right.
China is in control of it now. But yeah, I've never been. I'd love to go to Beijing or to Shanghai and
Yep.
experience that.
Yeah. Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and I can't, it's near the Vietnamese border. I've been there as well. Everywhere I went, and what's amazing, it's like America because it's so vast that the food in Beijing will be one style. You get to Shanghai, it's a different style of food. Um, oh yeah, if you have friends that are from Japan, unbelievably polite people. Uh, and I've literally been there when you get on the rail and it's so full that they're literally pushing people in. I'm sure everyone's seen those videos of it, but I've actually been on those trains and they're stuffing people in as much as they can just get the doors to close.
And then contrast that with Japan, where they actually line up
Oh,
to go
that
up the
was in Japan
escalator.
where I've done that.
Well, I
So
mean, I just in
yeah.
Japan, they line up to go up
Hmm.
the escalator. They line up to
Oh
get
yeah.
on the train. There's no there, when I didn't experience any pushing or shoving as opposed to Chinese, in there.
I'll send it over to you. I've got a photo on my Facebook page where my son and I had just gotten off of the rail, and it was just a sea of people going down the stairs to get out of the station. And the amazing thing was we were down and through that in under 10 minutes. And if that was in the United States, you'd have thought, oh my goodness. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to share it to you on. Let's see here. Try to share it to you.
While you're doing that, I wanted to mention that talking about bullet trains and high-speed rail, I mentioned it was announced this week. I put it on my channel today on my Las Vegas news on my travel tales. The federal government just granted $3 billion with a B dollars to the high-speed bullet train between Las Vegas and California.
Wow.
It's going to cost $6 billion. That's their projected cost, but the federal government has given $3 billion towards it, and it's going to go from Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga, which is right near Ontario, San Bernardino. And it's going
Wow.
to go through, Palmdale, Victordale, and all that. Anyway, but they want it done by 2026. I guess is when the Olympics are going to be in LA.
That's
But
frightening.
it's going to be an electric bullet train, and that's going to, if they do that, and if they really come through, we'll see.
Right.
That's going to be another way for people to get to and from Las Vegas. That's going to take cars off the road and also be a cool way to go, because those trains are really amazing if they're going to be like Japan.
Well, I could tell you that me personally, I've really come to enjoy the trains. I sent it to you on Facebook Messenger, but I really come to enjoy train travel. It used to be I would, make the drive over to Chicago from Detroit, or I would fly out on one of the cheap last minute airlines. But take the Amtrak. The Amtrak costs less than any of it. Yeah, it takes about 6 hours for what would be a 4.5 hour drive. But you just sit back, relax, catch a quick nap, and I've really come to enjoy doing the train travel as compared to driving or taking one of those quick shot flights and having to worry about if my luggage is going to show up or not. So,
Right. And every country's different. Like Japan has really extensive subways and trains, right? But when you go to Thailand, they have trains, but they're really not as advanced. And they're trying to get their infrastructure. They're
right.
building toll roads. They're putting a lot of money into it. But it's just nowhere near what it is in Japan. And of course, Europe, the trains in Europe are amazing too. You can go anywhere, but those
Oh, yeah.
countries are very close together.
And that's the thing is, I forget who it was. Someone, I believe it was from Scotland or Ireland, was talking about getting on a highway in we're in Canada, and he was like, we drove for 9 hours, and the map is this big, and you would figure that I would go from here to here in 9 hours, but I'd only gone that far in 9 hours. And they just don't realize, how extensive the United States and Canada is for those kinds of things, and especially trying to build like a high-speed rail system. Our country's been built. Both of them have been built based off of the automobile.
Mhm.
So there's, trying to build like a high-speed rail is somewhat going to be a challenge because most people are so connected to their vehicles, and that's part of their lifestyle. Well, I drive this, I drive that. They actually build communities around their vehicles. So it's a bit different than it is in
Well,
Asia.
it's been like that with me with an electric vehicle because their range is only 300 miles. So, like, if I want
Right.
to go on a road trip, I've got to plan it out, and then you got to wait 45 minutes for your vehicle to get
Oh yeah.
charged. So, I'm going to wait till they get more infrastructure in for something like that before I go to an electric vehicle. Whereas it would really help me around Las Vegas because I can drive it around and not have to spend all that money on gasoline. But
Oh yeah.
that's it. But listen, here's what Elon Musk has been doing here in Las Vegas. He has this company called the Boring Company. Have you heard about this company?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're boring tunnels underneath the
Mm.
ground. And you're going like, well, why would they do that? Well, his company, the Boring Company here in Las Vegas, they bored a tunnel to connect. Our convention center is really big, and they have a north hall, south hall, and a western hall. Anyway, they were hired and they did a boring tunnel underneath the convention center and it's open, and where they drive Teslas, that you can get in a Tesla and be at one of the halls and then drive underground and get to the hall that's a mile away,
Oh
and you
yeah.
go underground. and it's pretty amazing. It was like a demonstration of how they could do this thing, right? Anyway, so they did it. The great thing about this for me was I grew up in Washington, D.C., where they built a subway, the metro system in the 1970s when I lived there. And they would tear up the streets and they'd be torn up for years. You know what I mean? Years, because they had to build the underground tunnels, the
Right.
stations, the this, the that.
Yeah.
There was no disruption in Las Vegas when they did this boring. You would have never known that they did it. You know what I
Well,
mean? They just
I
were
think that's a
underground boring this thing out and getting it done.
I think
And
that's a testament to when you take bureaucracy out of it and the government agencies that are involved with everything, how much smoother and easier things go as to, politicians have to find
well,
a reason for their existence.
well,
So,
here's the cherry on top of the story. Okay.
mhm.
So they have this and they've been using it and all that. So they extended it to Resort World, which is a casino on the Las Vegas Strip. So it's all
Oh,
on the same
okay.
line.
Yeah.
Well, the Clark County Commission and the city of Las Vegas, they decided let's have the Boring Company connect up all the hotels with,
Oh,
all
wow.
along the strip to downtown, all the way to the airport, out to the football stadium. Let's do
Mhm.
a whole circuit and whole plan, and they approved that. And so they're in progress on doing that right now. And
That's
eventually,
awesome.
we're going to have a subway system here. And I'm imagine that rather than Tesla cars, they'll have some kind of of a subway car or train that goes through these things. Now, one of the ways that they're going to save time and money is they realized when they did the one under the convention center, the hardest thing was building the underground station. Because
Right.
there's a midway point where they have a station where people can get on and off. So what they're going to do, since we're in the desert, they're going to build above ground stations. So you'll basically get on your train, go underground to the next stop, and it'll be above ground. It's much easier than having to excavate down and build a whole station underground.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
amazing. Pretty amazing.
It's going to save them a lot of money, a lot of engineering that they have to do for it without having to build that underground. You put that on top, and it saves so much on it. Elon with the Boring Company, one of his first projects he was thinking about was that high speed loop of Las
Yeah.
Vegas. And that was basically designed where they were wanting to put the AI or autonomous driving vehicles in there, and they would be able to drive at incredibly high speeds going from point A to point B, connecting pretty much all of Las Vegas that within the resort and the vacation areas that people are going to. And that's I think that all ties in together, and it's just been with a lot of things with Elon, he's able to transform it or modify it to where it meets other needs in the long run as well. So,
Well, is that project he's doing where it's like a vacuum tube, where like you're going so fast that you're like riding on a cushion of air, and it's like a tube that's going to be underground.
right.
And he's testing that out from what I understand. I mean,
I
this guy
know.
is so forward thinking. You go,
Oh,
why would you go underground? Well, then you don't have to go through all
yeah.
the above ground infrastructure and everything.
You don't have to use eminent domain, things like that to get property. You don't have to spend 10 times as much money on being able to get the property to do the project. Do it all in. Hey, Mandy, how's it
Hey,
going?
Andy.
So let's see. There was a question someone had where they were talking
Yep.
about the,
By the way, if anybody has questions for us, go ahead, get in the chat, ask us a question because
yeah,
we're
it
nearing
was,
the end here. We'd love to answer questions.
Pup Groomer was asking about extending it through rural Nevada and other
Yeah.
places like that. It would be awesome that they did that, but is it financially viable for them? And that's some of the things you have to think about when these companies are, especially if you have a private company that's involved in building these things, whether or not they're getting the money from the government or not, the subsidies. Is it going to be financially viable for them? That's why you don't see a lot of these existing rail systems going out into those areas because they don't think it's viable. Even
Well, and
in
here's a comment from MKM. Please mention the high-speed train boondoggle in
oh yeah,
California. Years overdue and millions of dollars over budget, and so far nowhere near being completed. I know it's the most ridiculous thing. It's actually in the midsection of Bakersfield, Fresno, and it's like in the middle, trying to connect San Francisco and all that. You would think,
oh, yeah.
oh, just run it through there. Oh, no, 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 no. There's so much red tape.
Bureaucracy, red
It's just
tape.
crazy.
And I heard it's closer to $1 billion over budget.
Yeah, it's
So
$1 billion over budget, but, well, hopefully this company, they've got to set up, for LA to Vegas, and, we'll see if it happens, I already
well,
know where they're gonna build the station. It's gonna be near McCarran Airport on the Strip,
yeah.
and that's gonna be the point, but,
Pull up that
yeah.
one from Pamela Crawford, the last comment there.
Oh, okay. Right here.
And yeah, I can answer that one. Wow.
Oh, wait, wrong one. Sorry,
There's
that
one.
just jumped up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just jumped up again. Somebody
Quick.
else in there. Here we go. Pamela
Uh,
Crawford.
it's my dream to visit Japan. I am in a wheelchair, cannot walk at all. Do you think it's possible for? Absolutely. If you've never seen the probably one of the first things I noticed going to Japan is every sidewalk, everywhere you go, has these yellow lines down the sidewalk, and they have like what you would consider like a rumble strip kind of texture to them. Those are for people who are visually impaired so that they're able to get around. You won't see it in rural Japan, but you see it in any of the bigger cities. And I'm talking mid-sized cities, 100,000 or more. They have those. They have amazing accommodations for people who are in one way or another not they have some kind of mobile impact that they can't get around like everyone else. And so like with all of the Japanese rail stations, they have elevators so that like with me, I have horribly bad knee and hip on the left side of my body. So walking these hundreds of stairs to get up to the trains and all that, it starts wearing on me after a while. They have elevators that'll get you up there. Every store has elevators. I mean, Mark, you know how ridiculous the size of these stores are. I mean,
Yeah,
they're 15 by 15 foot. You can barely walk through them because there's so many people in them, but yet the aisles are wide enough that you can get a wheelchair down through them, and they have an elevator to the next floor. And
absolutely.
so, yeah,
I love this next comment from Pamela because I'm going to tell you something about this. Pamela Crawford, are the toilets like we have here? No, they're not like we have here. They're better. They're
oh my
better in
God.
Japan. Are you right? Am I right, Poe?
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what, I just installed our bidet about a month ago.
Listen,
Eh,
when I went to Japan and stayed at my hotel, and it was like not a fancy hotel, right?
mhm.
I got to get a toilet like this at my house here. Now, I
Oh yeah.
checked the prices on these toilets are like $3,000 to $4,000 to put them
Oh
in.
yeah.
But basically, you sit down, they're heated seats. You don't need toilet paper. It
Yep.
washes you in the, in the areas that, you need to be washed. And, they're amazing. So, and they have handicap. I've been in the handicap stalls in the airport and stuff like that. But
Oh
yeah,
my
no, the
goodness.
Japanese toilets are world renowned. They're fantastic, and they have them in other parts of Asia too.
If I'm on a long layover in Tokyo, they have these rooms for elderly people who have accommodation needs, things like that. You can literally go in, and it's as big as my office here, and they actually have a bed where you can lay down and lay down and relax for a little bit in there. It, one of the things I always stay at Airbnbs. I don't even stay at hotels anymore wherever I go. But even in the Airbnbs, you find they have the bidets. They even have music plays on these things while you're sitting there, so that it creates a lovely. That's awesome. Did you get to see the ones where they have the faucet on top of the tank?
No, I didn't.
Well, that's something that, well, we saw it in 2015 when I took the family there. It's the first time I saw them. They have a faucet and an actual sink on top of the tank, and so when you wash your hands, all the water that you're using to wash your hands goes in to fill the tank. So they're reusing the water to flush the toilet. So
But
it's
and then here's another, since we're on toilets.
mhm.
Here's another thing in Thailand. I think they have it in other parts of Asia too. I mean, you got to be careful. Sometimes you go and it's just a hole in the ground, right? But like
Oh yeah,
in every apartment or whatever, you have not just where you can flush and have toilet paper. You have what Americans like to call a butt gun, which is
yep,
basically it's basically a hose with a like you would have
on your
on your
sink.
sink.
Yep.
to clean dishes, where you spray. You literally reach down there, spray the water, and
Yep.
clean yourself off. And that's the way that they do it over there. And it's a much more clean way than using toilet paper.
I can't tell you how many bathrooms I've been to in Asia where they don't even have any paper products in the bathroom. You
Yeah.
know, that's a little disconcerting. I like the bidets that have the air dryers because I don't like the fact
The
that,
Japanese toilets have that too. If you
yeah,
want, after you
yep.
rinse down there, you just hit a button, and all of a sudden it's being heated up with a hot air and dries you right off.
Well, to give you an idea, the one I installed on our toilet is called a Tushy, and I got it off Amazon. It's less than $100. Our niece has one, and we were asking how she liked it, and she and her husband absolutely love it. We got it. It's amazing. You never feel so clean as when using something like that. So, we're huge fans of the bidet and how it works and everything.
Yeah. I got somebody commented here. I wanted to mention Jenny H. I moved to Vegas from Phoenix 2.5 years ago, and I would be thrilled if they built a train from Vegas to Phoenix. Sorry, that's my Misha. Anyway, I agree. That would be great. And I need to answer this question, but I'm going to mute my dog.
Roscoe's literally just jumped up. So
anyway, I was going to answer that. The biggest thing between Vegas and Phoenix is they don't have an interstate, and they're actually now building an interstate 13, and it'll go Reno to Phoenix, and it's a lot.
Wow.
Phoenix and Las Vegas are two of the largest cities in the U.S. that don't have an interstate directly between them. And so that's what they're doing now. They're doing I-13, and they've done portions of it here in Las Vegas and in Nevada. But then, the driving between Phoenix and Las Vegas can be a challenge because it's very mountainous and all that. But they're going to do that, so that'll at least be something. And then eventually, I'm sure they'll have a train too.
That would be great. And that's one of the things I'm really liking about this younger generation is they're very open to these long connecting rail lines, especially like the high-speed rails and such. It would really make things so much more convenient here in America. What I worry about is how much we've been letting our infrastructure not be taken care of as well as it should be. So that's something that worries me there is, it's like you're having in China right now with a lot of they're building these huge rail lines very quickly, but a lot of them, they're having problems with the bridges and such are collapsing. So, you have to weigh the good with the bad on it and just make sure that the right people are doing these things.
Absolutely. Listen, I think we're going to wrap up here. We're just over an hour, but I wanted to thank you, John. I enjoyed this discussion. I think our viewers did too. And I just want to remind everybody, please subscribe to our channels, our Scientology Stories, Peeling the Onion, and Poe on the Go, and also my Las Vegas Travel and More. And, like I say recently, it's not for us, the subscription. Okay. When you subscribe, it actually tells the YouTube algorithm to push the videos out to other people who have never seen or don't know anything about it but might be interested. So it really helps get the message out if you subscribe, if you hit that like button. That's what that's for. I do this not for the money. I don't do it for anything else other than I like to tell stories and tell the history. So you're really helping us when you subscribe to the channels and when you hit that like button. So we appreciate all of our subscribers and the members of our channels.
I love sharing the DIY. I love sharing the crafting, the working videos and things like that. Another way you can help with it is after the video is posted, and once it's cleared from the live replay with the live chat and everything, is you can go into the actual comment section. All you have to do is go in there and put a hi or something like that. Those comments help drive the algorithm even more. So it's, and I'm the same as Mark. I don't do this because I get paid for it. I do it because I enjoy it. I love talking with everyone. I don't care if you're like-minded or not. I love just conversing with other people, learning new things from other people, and sharing things that I know. And I consider it an extreme honor that you are willing to spend your time, your precious time, to be with us and listen to what we've got to say and join in the conversations as well.
I'm right there with you, John. My favorite thing to do is sit around and talk with people and
Oh,
listen to them, and talk and have an interesting discussion, which I think we've done today. I hope so. I hope everybody thinks that. The other thing is, if you have any questions or comments, please ask
yeah.
down in the comment section, like John just said. I check them all the time, and we will answer them. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, if you want to support our channel, both of our channels, you can go and buy me a coffee. I have it in the description of my video. I'm sure John does as
Yes.
well. It
Yep.
helps us, like we said, put out more content. So if you're interested in helping us out, just buy us a coffee. That's the easiest way to do it.
And Pamela, email me. I can get you in touch with a lot of people. I have a lot of friends in Japan, whether they be in Tokyo, all the way to people who live very rural in Japan, and they will, I'm sure that there's a way we can help you out. Plus, transportation in cities like Tokyo and that are very, very friendly to those who have mobility issues. So, yeah, just email me and I'll try to get you hooked up with the right people for that.
And pup groomer, I will definitely look into that. The Vegas stuff. Think about doing something on places that are more friendly to having services, having service aid dogs. Absolutely, I can do that as well.
Yep.
Anyway, I got a motorcycle flying by right now, but anyway, I just wanted to thank you, John, for
Oh, thank you
doing
for
this
doing
video
that.
with me today. I've enjoyed it, and we'll do some more. We'll do one on Thailand. I'll put together
Oh,
photographs, and also Japan. I have photographs too, and we can trade stories from there because they're wonderful places. There's other places as well, and that's why I have my travel channel. So.
well, like you had mentioned earlier, there's someone out there who takes fun in doing nothing but negative stuff about things like that.
Mhm.
And there is, people say, "Oh, you're going to Thailand? What for?" You have no idea the rich history and culture that there is there, and the food is bombing. So, go to my channel and check out some of those videos I've got from my Thai adventures. Yeah, there are seedy sides to every country. They have them here in the United States. They have
And
them
you're in
everywhere.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is that I'm a 55-year-old man who's been married for 33 years to the same woman. That's the love of my life. She's my best friend in the world. I don't go to Thailand for any of that stupid stuff. I go there to see my friends, enjoy this culture that I absolutely adore, and it's an awesome bang for your buck. I mean, the
Absolutely.
things you get to see and do while you're there for the price. I posted pictures of actually seeing saltwater crocodiles in Malaysia. I've got pictures on my Facebook page of king cobras that I've dealt with in the wild in both Thailand and Malaysia. So there's so much more to see and do, and it is so
There
fun
goes your
to
dog.
be Mama's home. So yeah. So it's that's the thing is that don't listen to any of that stuff that any of the other folks are saying about it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of great family fun type stuff that you're going to be able to do and not have to worry about any of it. So,
exactly.
so
All right, everybody. Until next time, we'll see you later. John,
all
stick
right,
around. I'll
all
talk to
right.
you
Well,
later. Bye bye.